Hello everybody. Today we're going to be discussing the research component of your religion project. As it says in the assignment sheet, you should be using the school library databases to complete this project. Now, some of you may already be aware of these databases, either through your English class or other class that you've taken in the past. But for those of you that haven't, you're going to need to pay attention so that you know how to properly access information and then properly cite it for this project. So let's get started. You want to start by going to our school homepage. If you look at academics and you see the drop-down menu, you want to go down to Library Media Center. Here you'll be taken to our San Ramon Valley High School library homepage, and on the left-hand side you'll see a list of several potential resources. Now for this particular assignment, I'm going to recommend two which are very closely related, and so you'll find a lot of the same information in both. One is this one called Global Issues in Context. Here's what that looks like. The other one, if you scroll down towards the bottom, you're going to see one called Student Resources in Context. As you can see, both resources have a very similar look. And like I said earlier, they're going to have a lot of the same information. So I highly recommend using these two. Now, when you go to log into these, most of you most likely will need to enter in a password. The password is this: SANRVSD. I repeat, SANRVSD, all lowercase. Once you have typed that in, you'll now be able to start searching for your religion. And I'm going to go ahead and use a different religion than what's on the sheet just to give you an example. So another religion that's not on your sheet is something called the Baha'i Faith. And I spelled it as closely as I possibly could to the actual spelling. And you can see there are several entries that I could choose. I'm going to go ahead and click on Baha'i Faith. And what's great about this particular site is it's pulling resources that have been vetted, that are high quality, that are pulling things from all over the world. And you know the information you're going to get from this is going to be accurate, right? It's going to be much more accurate than going to just Google and type in the name of your religion and just see what you get. So you are expected to be using these databases to find information for your project. So let's just scroll down. You can see there's some reference articles, right? Like encyclopedias. They have some biographies about maybe some key figures within the religion. You even have some audio clips and some magazines that are curated from across the globe. And you even have some news articles that talk about recent things going on with the particular faith. All right, and so you have lots of resources here at your disposal. And so you should have no problem finding at least two different sources to pull information from. All right, for simplicity, I'm just going to go ahead and look at this first one, the Baha'i Faith. And what I like about these is that not only is it pulling from reputable places, it organizes it in a way that is going to be easy for you to find information. And there's some really nice tricks that you can use to help you organize information for your project. So if you scroll down a little bit, you can see starting to even give you some information, right? Founded in 1863, right? One of the things that you need to be able to talk about in your presentation. And then if you just keep scrolling down, it starts to kind of go into what the religion is all about. And over here on the right-hand side, you can see the kind of a table of contents, which is going to cover a lot of different aspects of the religion. Now, obviously for this is a very short presentation. We're asking for very specific things. So not everything in this table of contents is going to necessarily be used, but at least we'll give you an idea about where you can start to go to look for the information that is required. All right. So what are some other tricks that you have at your disposal in this particular database? Well, you want to be reading over the whole thing, but you don't want to have to guess where you read a particular piece of information. So one thing you can do, if you highlight it with your mouse, you can see then this little box pops up. You can then highlight it in a color of your choosing, right? And then hit save. And what it does is it organizes it up here at the top. You see where it says highlights and notes, right? It keeps all of the important information that you're pulling and highlighting in one spot, right? So I can click on that and it's going to have the exact stuff that I highlighted as I'm going through the article. So it'll keep that information so that when it's time to put it into your actual slideshow, you know where to find it. So that's a nice little trick you got there. And then you can, it keeps a running tab of all the things you highlight, all right? And then you can jump around, all right? You got to tell us what the religion is all about. Like, what are the central doctrines? Okay, let's see. Read the article a little bit. The basic teachings of the Baha'i religion are found in the writings of Baha'u'llah, and it talks about the central teachings are often summarized as the oneness of God, the oneness of religion, and the oneness of humanity. All right, so that sounds like something I need to maybe highlight. All right, and I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to save. All right, and now look, there it is, and then I can go back and look at that on my own later. All right, so that's something that is really, really valuable for you, and I highly recommend that you do that to keep track of your notes for this particular assignment. It also, as you're reading, it's going to, tell you about individuals that then you can cross-reference in other articles, right? Because you need to be able to use at least 2 different sources. And if you continue on, it has images of things like symbols. It has maps. Has pictures of sacred places and important places for the religion. So this has a lot of great information that we can use, all right? And so you're going to want to look at several different articles within this database, all right? And then the last thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to need to have a proper citation in proper MLA format. And there's 2 ways that you can find it, all right? One, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the article, there is a full MLA citation already done for you. And all you need to do is copy, and then when you go back into your slideshow, you just paste it into the notes on your slide. All right, it's all you have to do. If you forget to go down to the bottom, but you're trying to remember, well, how do I find it? If you look up here at the very top, it says cite. It's the exact same citation, all right? And all you have to do is copy and paste, all right? So that makes it really, really simple, all right? And you got to make sure you do that for every single resource that you use. I do not want to see simply a link, a URL link in your notes. If we do that, that's certainly not going to be good for your overall grade. You need to make sure that you are citing them in proper MLA format, and there are very simple ways for you to do that. All right, so use these resources effectively, and don't hesitate to ask your teacher for help if you need it. Thank you for paying attention.